Welcome back to our last episode of Remembering World War II. My name is Adam.
My name is Malcolm.
And I am Aiden.
For our last episode, it would be best for us to speak of the Holocaust, where most genocide took place in World War II. First, Malcolm will start us off.
Today I'm doing a story about Maria Hay. Maria had two brothers, a sister, and her lived with her parents in the town of Lesniu in Poland. Her family wasn't Jewish, but lived in a Jewish neighborhood, so she went to school with Jewish children and spoke Jewish. Farmers in Poland were Germans and they all got on very well together. Before the war, their father had a flour mill and was in partnership with a Jew. Jewish people bought the businesses and house, and they moved into a farm in the country. Before the actual war started, the Russians moved in and took many people to Siberia, but Maria was lucky not to be taken. She was 17 years old when the Germans came. For a while, they treated her family well, and her mother spoke German, which helped. But then they began to take the children, some only 3 to 5 years old, blonde with blue eyes, supposedly Hitler's children. After that, Hitler started getting violent with his SS men in black uniforms, but the ordinary soldiers seemed to be docile for the most part. Maria's mother had Ukrainian helper, and she told them they were coming to take her brother as they were starting to take grown-ups. Maria's brother ran away to another farm to hide. What part I thought to be interesting in the story was that even if you weren't Jewish, your family could be devastated and destroyed in the Holocaust. My opinion is that I don't know if this can really relate to modern day situations since the situations here are very severe.
Great story, Malcolm. Now I will be talking about Irene Fogel Weiss, a survivor of the Holocaust Auschwitz concentration camp. Weiss was born in 1930 in Botrigi, Czechoslovakia, a very small town with a population around 1,000 people and 10 Jewish families. Weiss's family was one of them. When Weiss was just 8 years old, Czechoslovakia broke down and became a part of Hungary, which wasn't good for Weiss's family because Hungary were allies with Germany. Overnight, the Jews lost their civil rights and their family business was given to a non-Jewish family. Jews were thrown out of school and had to wear a yellow star. Hungary wasn't giving up their Jewish population until 1944 when Hungary was invaded by the German Nazis. Hungary was forced to round up the Jews and deport them to Auschwitz. Hungary finished this task in just 6 weeks, sending away Jews in 147 cattle cars. The Nazis made Jews think they were going to the showers after working, but they were actually sending them to the gas chambers to kill them. They separated the Jewish family so they wouldn't be able to see each other anymore. Irene and her sister were able to escape while marching to a different camp and hid in an empty building. They then spent months trying to get to Prague, where they knew they had some relatives living there. They later found out they were the only two Jews in their family to survive Auschwitz. Weiss is now 80 years old living in Virginia, and her sister is living in New Jersey. Stories like this are interesting because you can learn about what Jews that survived the Holocaust went through and how their lives are now, what happened to their family, and what happened to them in the camp they were placed in.
How interesting, Aiden. Now I will be talking about Anne Frank's family while within the concentration camp walls. If you remember our Homefront episode, you'll remember we talked about Anne Frank's family while hiding from the Nazis and how they were captured. Before Miep found the remains of Anne's diary and published it. It is said that Anne Frank, her sister, and her mother were separated from Anne's father, Otto Frank. Anne's mother was first to go. She was sent to a gas chamber and was separated from her children. It was just Anne and her sister. They were forced to work nonstop. No food, no breaks, nothing. They only rest was at night. were the bunkers they slept in. Many people were sick, both physically and mentally, I must say. About a month passed, and then one morning Anne woke up with her sister beside her. But she didn't get up. Her sister wasn't breathing, and her skin was pale. Anne cried. That was the last thing we knew of Anne Frank before she later died within the concentration camp. However, Anne's father, Otto Frank, was let out of the concentration camp due to him being a veteran to World War I. He went back to Meep and told her what happened. Anne Frank's family, along with Meep Gee's, shall be remembered as a family with a young girl who just wanted to be normal and was taken by an army who had intentions to cause mass genocide. As I said before, the story of Anne Frank and her family is interesting because it shows how we try to survive no matter what. However, if our plans fail, then death can be absolutely certain. The reason we remember all these wars, all these people, and all these events is to make sure it never happens again. And we must have hope that it never does. However, with every war, there always is an ending. World War II ended in one of the most unexpected ways. The US was fighting through Nazis, constant attempts to try and at least make their ways to stop whatever they were doing, whatever they were planning, to commit their constant mass genocide on the entire planet. However, it wasn't the US which made the Nazis fall. It was themselves that made them fall. Their own leader which made them fall. Their own leader saw the death of his people, the people he had wanted to give more and more solutions to. He saw them dying. He felt it was the end. Adolf Hitler committed suicide on April 30th, 1945, and he ended the war with his death at his own hands. Thank you for watching and remembering World War II. This is our last episode, and we hope you enjoyed, and we hope you learned a lot about World War II. We are Colonel Gunners, signing off.